Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jefferies, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. When we get the foundations right, everything else falls into place. So what are the BAM? What are the Bare Arse Minimum things to do to give us a great foundation for flourishing and not just coping, seriously, in today's world? Well, I see them as hydration, rest, balancing up cortisol, blood sugars, and our gut. Why? Because they're all integral in the way that they interact with all of our body systems. Let's go. All right, hydration. Are you drinking water wrong? This is a reality, is that so many people, they can be drinking enough water, however, they can still feel dehydrated. Why? Well, it's not just about the water we're drinking, it's how our body is able to utilize it, how to absorb it. And a lot of the time, and I see it a real lot, is that people are relying too much on cold water. And we've just had a stinking hot summer here in Australia. I've just been in Thailand for the last couple of weeks working with the kids from my charity. Hot weather, and I still drink room temp or warm water. Yes, I do. If you're watching this on the YouTube, I have my warm flask here and I drink warm water all the time. Why? Because it absolutely absorbs better. It can also be that you're having too many things like caffeine and alcohol, or even just stress, because they drain your body of hydration, so to speak, or deplete your body of hydration faster than it can even drink it back in. So dehydration equals things like fatigue and brain fog and sluggish digestion and hormone imbalances. Yes, it even affects your hormones. So what are the stress fixes for hydration? They are: start your day with a hydration boost. I like to do it with a glass of warm water and either lemon or lime juice to help support my liver and to hydrate my body. That's one. Number two, if you don't like water, get over it. Get over it. We need it to survive. Put a dash of coconut water, a dash of lemon juice or lime juice. Remember that herbal teas count as water. Even putting something like a cucumber slice can help with better absorption, as well as tweak the flavor if you're not a fan of the flavor. We want to balance our caffeine intake. And so I usually recommend, as a naturopath, two extra waters for each coffee or tea, and particularly tea. Regular tea is actually really dehydrating. Go back and check out my whole podcast I did about tea. It's easy to find. Just search tea in my Healthy Life Hacks podcast. But it's really dehydrating because it's so rich in tannins, okay? So I usually recommend to patients that they have about 2 cups of extra water a day to help balance out the tea. Yeah, it's the truth, okay? It can be really important, especially if you're getting things like arthritis and aches and pains in joints. It's really inflammatory. So brew it for less than a minute and it counts as water. That is a tweak. We can also look at eating our water. So with foods like, watermelon and cucumbers and celery, they keep our cells happy and they also help with hydration. However, we still need water as well, okay? So how do you teach yourself how to drink? When I burned out, I actually had a big car accident and just mashed my kidneys, and I had to drink to stay alive. I had a digital watch. They hadn't long been invented, and I was able to set an alarm on that. And every hour I had a drink of water. Every hour. It's an easy way. Set up a system to help support you. Nowadays you can get fancy apps and things to do the same thing. However, an alarm on your phone works easy. It is. So what's the biggest takeaway? If you're drinking water and still feeling drained, brain fog and things like that, maybe tweak the way you're doing it. It's not just quantity, it's quality of water. Oh, by the way, and it does not have to be filtered water. It really doesn't. Water is still great. If you're not drinking because you're thinking, I haven't got any filtered water, that's bullshit. I call bullshit on that in a big way. Drink the water. So number 2, let's talk about sugar, blood sugar crashes. The basics of blood sugar is we've got to be able to stop the crashes and balance out cravings and mood swings. So when our blood sugar is out of whack, we feel like we're on that emotional roller coaster. So it's like, I'm good. Oh, no, I'm hangry, or I'm tired, or I'm snapping at people. It all goes. So what's the problem when it's happening? It can be something simple, like we're not having enough good proteins. We're having too many sugars, and it might be the crappy sugars. It might be that you're having too many carbs, or even skipping meals. So some people think, fasting means just don't eat. Well, no, we need to do nutritionally supported fasting to have our body work properly for us. It's not just eating. And so, again, you can search intermittent fasting on my Healthy Life Hacks podcast here. I've done whole podcasts on all the different ins and outs of fasting. So just watch, if you are skipping meals, blood sugar can go up and down. So when it is unstable, cravings increase, brain fog increases, weight gain is one, and also hormonal imbalances. So we know that when our body is under high stress, we make it 10 times worse because we're spiking our cortisol. And that also messes with insulin. So what is the fuck the stress fix? Protein's king. That's the best place to start. If you start every meal with protein and healthy fats, you'll help keep your blood sugar more stable. It's just a reality. Where doing carbs, you're going to get that high energy and then you're going to go on dip. So balancing out your meals properly with good fats and good proteins is the place to start. Watch out for the sugary breakfast. Setting up the day with things like crappy cereals or even toast. White bread is got a higher GI than bloody anything on the planet. It's scary stuff. So for me, I like to make sure I have a protein-loaded breakfast. I start my day with a protein smoothie. I get around, depending which one I make, I'll get 30 to 50 grams of protein. It's huge. Eggs are a great way. Avocado is a healthy fat. However, just watch if you're doing the avocado on toast, the avo on toast, which is the avo smash, we call it here in Australia, because avocado is great, good fats. However, it's also calorie dense. So make sure you've always got that protein to balance it out. I'll go for it. Generally, I'll have about 3 poached eggs if I'm going to do eggs and avocado for breakfast. But my quick go-to, takes a minute to make, is my protein shake. Send me a message if you want to get details on that.
Have you ever wondered how your life could have been different if you'd had access to this type of content at a younger age? Look, this is why I need your help. I'm working to build the #1 platform that gives real and easy to integrate healthy life hacks and mindset to help you get well and stay well. This show only grows by word of mouth and new subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you could click the subscribe button right now, leave a 5-star written review, or drop a comment below. Share this episode with a friend and I would be forever grateful. Now, let's get back to this week's episode.
Make sure you're eating every 3 to 4 hours because that also helps to keep steady energy. It prevents that highs and lows of blood sugar levels. And a simple drink that's really yum is cinnamon and apple cider vinegar. They're 2 natural hacks that help to support insulin and curb sugar cravings. Okay, cinnamon is excellent for that. So the way you can do that is just make up not even a whole teaspoon of cinnamon, just a bit of cinnamon in some apple cider vinegar and have it before a meal. Between meals like that, it's awesome for settling things down. And I like to have it with, I make my fire cider, which has got that, and it's got a bit of chili in it, a bit of cayenne, and it's got all the spices in it. Yes, you can go and search that on Healthy Life Hacks as well. Fire cider or Jen's Fire Water. Check that one out. But I'll put that with soda water. No, not cold, and no ice, just room temp. And that's really nice. So what's the main takeaway with blood sugars? Pretty simple. Blood sugars balance our hormones, energy, and moods. That's it. So look at what you're doing. And if your energy is all over the place and your brain's really screwed up, start with these little tips to help balance up your blood sugars. Okay, let's talk cortisol. This is the BAM of the BAM of the BAM on cortisol. So we can move from being wired and tired to calm and energized. How? Well, if we're waking up exhausted, and again, the very first podcast I did, #1, yes, go back and listen to it. It's all about the effects of cortisol, stress, and our sleep. If we're waking up exhausted, our window of tolerance for the day is really small. Stuff's going to get on our nerves. We're running on adrenaline. We're crashing out at night. The cortisol, which is our stress hormone, is totally out of whack. So what is it? It's like chronic stress. It's not even chronic, acute stress as well. We get this cortisol overload, which leads to things like belly fat and burnout and poor sleep. And my whole Fuck the Stress book is written all about how to balance out cortisol. However, I wanted to give you the BAM of the BAM. And so caffeine, too much caffeine, how much is too much caffeine? Your body, if you're amping up in any way and needing that caffeine to get going, that's too much caffeine. Late nights, I've done whole podcasts on sleep. But bottom line, we need between 7 and 9 hours sleep a night. And every minute we do before 10 p.m. is a bonus minute. And so our body really thrives on having good sleep. And balancing up how much we move our body. We need to move our body every day. However, if our body is stuck in that fight and flight survival mode, it's busy, it's stressed, go for a walk. Don't go for a bloody run. We need to just balance those things out. And the reality is, the more stressed we are, the harder it is to lose weight, think clearly, and just feel good. So we've got to look at what's happening behind things. We have to balance this cortisol. So what is the fuck the stress fixes? One, sunlight morning and night. So first 10 minutes in the morning, last 10 to 15 minutes in the evening. If we can get out into that sun, it's not as harsh. Get out without sunglasses on. It helps to set, and that also then helps to regulate cortisol naturally. Morning and night, not just morning, it makes a difference. I'm a big fan of doing that one. Ditch the caffeine before breakfast. Yeah, ditch the caffeine before breakfast. Caffeine on an empty stomach is an absolute cortisol stress bomb. Don't do it. Check out adaptogen herbs. So things like ashwagandha, which is the Indian ginseng, Siberian ginseng, I'm a huge fan of. Radiola. There are dozens of different adaptogens. Just know that a naturopath never prescribes one adaptogen on its own. We just don't, because we're not one body system. So flick me a message. Jennifer@jenniferjefferies.com is my email address. Send me a message. I'd love to be able to send you links to what I take myself. And also remember to breathe. So deep breathing and doing the vagus nerve love tap, which is the 2 quick breaths in and a long breath out. So it's like, that's the place to start. That will get you out of that alarm mode and kick in the vagus nerve to get it start working properly again to help you manage stress. I love doing the love tap. I love doing the love tap. It just works. I use it a lot. I use it a lot in the surf because I get a little bit stressed sometimes when I go surfing. Yes, I do. So what is the biggest takeaway? Well, when we manage cortisol, we manage our energy, our metabolism, our hormones, everything. Stress overrides everything. That's such a big one to bring it back into balance. Okay, let's do the BAM on the gut. So we know that the root of good skin, good sleep, good mood, good everything is our gut and our gut microbiome. So we know that 80% of our immune system and our serotonin, our feel-good hormones, absolutely lives and is produced in the gut. Yes, it needs the right microbiome. We know that stress, antibiotics, sugar, processed foods, fatty foods, like bad fatty foods, destroy gut bacteria directly, and they can lead to digestive issues. So even things like, people don't get that there's this gut-brain axis, that our brain fog can be that we're not feeding our gut properly, the right prebiotic fibrous veggies, the soluble vegetables that help to get everything working properly. That's what feeds the probiotics. You go and take a probiotic and don't still not be eating the right foods, your really fibrous vegetables, and your pungents, your onions and garlics and leeks, spring onions, all those things, the pungents, they're excellent for feeding our gut microbiome as well. So your brain can be not thinking right, and you'll reach for a short sugar or carb kind of hit, and you're just not getting out of this hole. Acne, all skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, all of those, they all are a reflection. In fact, our skin is the biggest reflection of what's happening on the inside of our body. Start there. And low energy. So a sluggish gut, simply it means that our body is not detoxifying properly. We'll get bloated. We can get hormone imbalances. It all just keeps going in circles. So what are the fuck the stress fixes? Simple. Eat fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso to boost that gut bacteria. However, what I said is also eat more of the soluble fiber. So things like green kiwi fruit is a wonderful prebiotic. Mangoes are a wonderful prebiotic. The pungents, the onions, the garlics, spring onions, the leeks, all of those things, they're awesome. Ditch the refined and processed grains. That's a huge one. Just go for fiber. That's the place to start. And then lower our stress levels, which we've just talked about. Cortisol in particular, it puts the fire out in our belly and it makes everything stew instead of digesting. We are not going to digest and assimilate foods properly when we are under stress. We can't make stress go away. We've got to get our gut to be able, or get us to be able to adapt to it so that cortisol's not running our life. How do we do it? Start with your breath. Breath and relaxation, good quality rest, 7 to 9 hours sleep a night, get the gut replenished, and you're on track. And think about supplementing with a tribiotic. So a tribiotic has got your pre, your pro, and your postbiotics all in one. So what's the takeaway? Gut controls everything. Stress influences gut. Gut controls everything. Balance your stress, heal your gut, and the rest of everything in your body just works. It really works. The BAM on rest. Like I said, we need between 7 and 9 hours sleep at night to balance out cortisol. Yes, we do. We know that when our cortisol's high, our energy sucks, our weight sucks, our moods suck. Everything totally influences anything that's happening reproductive system-wise. We know that late night scrolling doesn't work. It doesn't. We know that we need to balance out cortisol. We know we need to also balance out melatonin. We need to be able to doing that little bit of sun in the morning, a little bit of sun in the afternoon, balance all those things out. So if stress is high, sleep is low. If stress is high, sleep is low. That's a reality. So what are the fuck the stress fixes? Just check whether you're off your screens an hour before bed. Blue light suppresses melatonin. Don't do it. Think about supplementing with things like magnesium and herbal teas. Chamomile, passion flowers are great to help to relax the nervous system. Lavender, boring old lavender oil helps your body to manage cortisol. It's a given that we bring lavender into our lives. It really is. It's not boring. It's people think you need more clever essential oils. You don't. Start with lavender. So look at not doing any high intensity workouts at night. Again, it's going to make your cortisol too high for you to be able to have great deep sleep. So go for a gentle walk after dinner. It helps digestion and it helps to bring down cortisol. Set your nighttime rituals, whatever they are. So whether it's breathing or journaling, get off the bloody television, sit and have quiet time with your partner. That's what I do with my wife. A warm bath versus a shower will be more beneficial. Use some aromatherapy. My chill out blend is great if you're having trouble getting to sleep. If you're having trouble staying asleep, that's what my Sanity Saver blend is designed for. A drop on the soles of the feet absolutely stills a busy brain. So what's the takeaway? Better sleep equals better hormones, moods, and energy. So prioritize your rest. It is the number one thing I focus on every single day because I know the importance on my life and longevity if I balance up my sleep. So remember that health isn't about doing more. It's not about doing more clever things. It's about doing the basics, doing them right and doing them consistently. When we hydrate properly, when we balance our blood sugar levels, when we reset our cortisol levels, support our gut and sleep well, everything else falls into place. Have fun bringing in those basic 5. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review on Apple Podcast. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review, have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're tuning in from so that you always catch the next episode. I welcome your emails and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.